Welcome back. The Natural History Museum of Utah has launched a series called Behind the Scenes. It started in October. Every Friday through the end of November, you can head to the museum and see a behind the scenes exhibit. You can meet individuals that have participated, see never seen collections, and talk to the incredible people that are making these exhibits happen. And this week, actually today, from 2 to 4 p.m., Behind the Scenes is focusing on paleontology. And right now I'm talking with Dr. Dr Irmis, paleontologist at the Natural History Museum of Utah. Dr. Irmis, thanks for being here today. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm excited to talk more about this. Tell me about what people will be able to participate in if they come to Behind the Scenes today.
Yeah, well, Behind the Scenes is all about sharing the amazing collections we have at the museum with everybody. You know, we can only put a small amount of our collections on display at any one time. So we use Behind the Scenes as a way to really bring out all those other cool objects. And this year we're focusing on the theme of plagues and pestilence. So we're going to have all sorts of cool fossils that show evidence of infection and disease and broken and healed bones from back during the time of dinosaurs and even earlier.
And as you mentioned, it's a great time to come behind the scenes and peek behind the curtain, but also people that attend this can meet you, the paleontologist. There's also another incredible paleontologist that'll be there and talk to you about these exhibits, and that's a unique thing as well.
Yeah, that's really another huge focus, is that we want to get a chance to meet you, the public, and chat about all these cool objects, the scientific work that's being done at the museum, and just about science in general. And so today, for example, myself and one of our other paleontologists, Carrie Levitt-Boosing, will be there from 2 to 4, and we'll be there to show you some really cool fossils, chat with you about any of your paleontology questions.
And you're going to focus on paleopathology. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister of a word, but paleopathology is just a fancy word for evidence of infection or disease in the fossil record. So it could be broken and rehealed bones. It could be a bone that has a bite mark and then rehealed. It could be evidence of, cancer or other types of disease as well.
And I hadn't realized that you could see evidence of that in the fossils. I imagine some of the fossils it's quite obvious, but maybe a little bit harder to identify. So that's something you'll also be discussing as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Basically, we only get fossil evidence of the survivors of these sorts of maladies. So there needs to be enough time for the animal to survive and for the bone to react and sort of try and close off that infection or repair itself. And those are the types of things that get preserved in the fossil record. If an animal gets an infection and dies immediately, we don't see that evidence in the bones.
And this is hands-on as well, correct? You'll have microscopes there for some of those microscopic evidences of some of the pieces.
For sure, yeah. We want people to really engage with these objects with all their senses and really get a close look at these super cool fossils we have out.
And what do you hope visitors will learn, and how does this connect to what's happening today, especially with the pandemic?
Yeah, I think, it's all about showing that sort of disease and things like that has always been a part of life on Earth for, as long as life has been here for over, 3 billion years. And we see that evidence in the fossil record. And I've gotten a lot of questions since the pandemic began, like, oh, could this be, a pandemic have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs or, some other group? And while that's a very hard question to answer, what we can say is that we have really good evidence that there were diseases and infections in the geologic past, and these are great examples of that. So we're dealing with what the dinosaurs dealt with and even early animals before that dealt with.
It's always fascinating how learning about the past sheds light on the present and the future. So looking forward to this. I'm curious, Dr. Irmis, what made you decide to become a paleontologist?
Well, it's a typical story for me. I loved dinosaurs and rocks and fossils as a little kid, and I guess I just never grew up. And amazingly, you can make a career out of it.
And what do people need to know if they want to attend today or on another Friday to this fun behind-the-scenes event?
Yeah, so the specific behind the scenes event is from 2 to 4 p.m. today, and then we've got another one going on next Friday, also from 2 to 4 p.m. And the museum as a whole is open from 10 to 5 every day of the week except for Wednesday, when we're open from 10 all the way to 9 p.m.
So very exciting about this. Thank you so much, Dr. Irmis, for joining us today. Really appreciate your insight. Paleontology, also in talking about behind the scenes, happening today from 2 to 4 p.m. So head to the Natural Museum of History. You can get all the information you need about tickets and more. It's an incredible museum. You'll learn many things. And again, thanks to Dr. Irmis for being here. We'll be back with more right after this.